So if you want to unlock like a 2000% increase in your body's ability to absorb one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds we have, the answer isn't in some specialized pharmacy.
No, it's actually sitting in a cheap little shaker on your kitchen table right now.
Exactly. It's just black pepper.
Hmm.
And today we're doing a deep dive into a really comprehensive source document all about plant-based superfoods and daily recipes. And, what's immediately clear to me is that we have to just completely shatter this old medicine paradigm.
Right, that assumption that for something to be good for you, it inherently has to taste awful.
Yes.
Like it's a punishment.
Yeah, we have this deep cultural conditioning that eating well is just an exercise in restriction, a trade-off where you're sacrificing joy for longevity. But when you look at the biochemistry in the source text, the paradigm flips entirely. It becomes about abundance and biological efficiency rate. So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're taking the source material, which covers everything from overnight chia puddings to massaged kale and stuffed sweet potatoes, and we are looking under the hood.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether you are fully plant-based or you just, want to optimize your energy levels on a Tuesday afternoon, we want to strip away the idea of boring health food.
Yeah.
We're going to show you how these plants literally hack your digestion and unlock hidden nutrients.
Because it's entirely about the mechanics. The text isn't just throwing a list of vegetables at you. It's exploring the intersection of nutrition, sustainability, and cellular biology. And honestly, the most logical place to start is with the biggest psychological barrier.
Oh, the protein myth.
Yeah, the anxiety around fullness and protein. It tackles it right on page 1.
I hear this constantly. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're used to a chicken breast acting as the physical anchor of your dinner plate, looking at a bowl of plants can feel mathematically wrong.
Right, you look at it and think you're going to be starving in 45 minutes.
Exactly. The assumption is that plant-based eating is just a pile of wet lettuce. So, how does the text prove that you can achieve actual sustained physical fullness without animal protein?
Well, it does it by fundamentally shifting the metric from sheer mass to nutrient density. So the document lists these heavy-hitting plant proteins: lentils, chickpeas, quinoa, hemp seeds, tofu, edamame. But, the crucial insight is what comes packaged with that protein.
Okay, what do you mean by packaged?
So when you eat a chicken breast, you're getting dense protein and fat, right? But zero fiber. When you swap that for, say, a cup of lentils, you change the entire biological equation of the meal.
Wait, let me pause you there because we're usually sold fiber as just a digestive broom, like eat it to keep things moving.
Right, the plumbing analogy.
Yeah, but you're talking about it as a structural component of feeling full. What is actually happening in the stomach when those lentils hit?
Okay, so satiety is both a mechanical and a hormonal process. Your stomach actually has physical stretch receptors. When you eat the lentils from the text lentil vegetable soup recipe, you introduce a massive dose of soluble fiber.
Oh, and that expands.
Exactly. That fiber absorbs water and physically expands in the stomach. It hits those stretch receptors and sends this immediate mechanical signal to your brain saying, hey, we have mass.
Wow. Okay.
But beyond that, the combination of complex carbs, plant-based protein, and that fiber dramatically slows down gastric emptying.
So it's basically acting like a...
Like a timed release capsule, exactly. It creates this slow, steady trickle of glucose into the bloodstream rather than a spike and a crash. The text emphasizes that plant-based superfoods matter because they fuel sustained energy production.
So you're not just getting protein in a vacuum. You're getting the physical expansion from the fiber plus the immune support of the antioxidants, all working to tell your nervous system that you are deeply nourished. That timed release concept really clicks when we look at the start of the day in this document. It outlines a few breakfast recipes that rely on ingredients that are incredibly tiny but carry this massive payload.
Yeah, the seeds.
Right. I'm looking at the berry chia pudding recipe. It's just 3 tablespoons of chia seeds, 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk, berries, and a little maple syrup. And you just leave it in the fridge overnight.
It's a phenomenal example of low-effort, high-yield nutrient density.
But honestly, looking at the raw measurements, 3 tablespoons of seeds seems so light. Like if someone is used to eating a massive bagel, putting a few spoonfuls of seeds into almond milk sounds like an appetizer. What am I missing about the biology here?
You're missing the mucilage.
The what?
Mucilage. Chia seeds are essentially microscopic storage silos. They're packed with omega-3 fatty acids, protein, and an astonishing amount of soluble fiber. When you submerge them in liquid like the almond milk, the outer layer interacts with the water to create a thick, gel-like substance called mucilage.
Oh, right, because they can absorb like 12 times their weight in liquid.
Exactly. Which explains the pudding texture the next morning. You aren't cooking anything. The seeds are just doing all the structural work while you sleep.
That's wild.
And that structural work continues inside your body. When you eat that chia pudding, that gel matrix survives into your digestive tract. It acts as a physical barrier, coating the stomach lining and slowing down the digestive enzymes.
So the sugar from the berries and the maple syrup can't just flood your bloodstream all at once.
Right. The chia gel forces your body to process the energy slowly over several hours.
You're basically building a dam in your digestive system to regulate your power output for the morning. And, the text applies this same efficiency to its superfood smoothie bowl.
Yes, the one with frozen berries, banana, plant milk, and hemp seeds.
Exactly. And then there's the blueberry power smoothie, which blends blueberries, banana, spinach, almond milk, and chia.
The inclusion of spinach in a fruit smoothie is a really deliberate tactic there.
Because of the antioxidants.
Well, the blueberries give you the antioxidants, neutralizing free radicals that cause oxidative stress. But by blending them with spinach, you're taking a volume of leafy greens that would take you 20 minutes to chew as a salad and processing it into a format you can drink in 2 minutes.
You're hacking the physical volume of the food. But that brings up a really interesting hurdle the text tackles next. Because blending is easy, right?
Sure.
But what about when you actually have to sit down and chew these greens at lunch? Going from a sweet drink to a bowl of raw leaves is where I think a lot of people abandon ship. Raw greens can feel like a chore.
The texture barrier is huge.
Yeah.
Kale, especially, has a reputation for being aggressively tough and fibrous.
Yeah, and the text has a very specific solution for this, which honestly I thought was a joke at first. The recipe is for a massaged kale salad. It uses olive oil, lemon juice, pumpkin seeds, and cranberries. And the instructions explicitly tell you to physically massage the kale with your hands.
It does sound a bit out there.
Giving a vegetable a spa treatment feels so esoteric. Like, why are we rolling up our sleeves to give our lunch a deep tissue massage?
Well, because humans aren't ruminants. We don't have multiple stomachs like a cow to break down tough plant matter.
Hmm.
Kale cell walls are made of cellulose, which is incredibly rigid.
Oh, I see.
If you just eat raw kale, your body expends a massive amount of energy trying to break it down. And a lot of the nutrients remain locked inside those cells, passing straight through your digestive system.
Okay, so it's like the vitamins are trapped in bubble wrap, and if you don't pop the bubbles, you don't get the contents.
That is the perfect visualization. When you apply physical force by massaging the leaves, combined with an acid like lemon juice and a fat like olive oil, you are mechanically popping that bubble wrap.
Wow.
You're chemically and structurally breaking down the cellulose before it ever enters your mouth. The volume of the kale actually shrinks in your bowl as the structure collapses. It goes from a rigid, bitter leaf to a soft, really palatable base.
But wait, the text insists on the olive oil. It's not just massaging with water or lemon. The fat is a requirement.
Yeah, that's a critical component of bioavailability. Kale is exceptionally high in vitamins A and K, and both of those are fat-soluble vitamins,
Meaning what? Exactly.
meaning your intestinal tract literally cannot absorb them into your bloodstream unless they're accompanied by dietary fat. If you eat a dry kale salad with a fat-free dressing, you're missing out on a massive percentage of the nutritional value. The olive oil acts as the chemical transport vehicle.
So you're doing the stomach's mechanical work with your hands and providing the transport vehicle at the same time. That's brilliant. And that concept of pairing ingredients carries right over to their take on avocado toast.
Oh, the avocado toast upgrade.
Yes. The blueprint is whole grain toast, mashed avocado, hemp seeds, tomato slices, and microgreens. Now, we know the avocado brings fats and the toast is a carb base, but why does the text specifically mandate adding hemp seeds on top? The avocado is already so rich.
It comes back to satiety engineering. Carbs digest the fastest. Fats digest slower. Proteins digest the slowest.
Okay.
If you only eat the toast, you get an insulin spike. If you eat it with avocado, the fat slows it down. But when you sprinkle hemp seeds on top, you're introducing a complete plant-based protein into the matrix.
Oh, so it covers all three bases.
Exactly. The combination of complex carbs from the whole grain, heavy monounsaturated fats from the avocado, and complete protein from the hemp seeds ensures your digestive system is occupied for hours.
Which perfectly bridges the gap to dinner. The text pivots heavily here toward what it calls the heavy hitters, making sure you don't go to bed hungry. And this addresses another massive myth. the
The idea
costs.
that you have to spend your whole paycheck on exotic powders.
Right. But the source material explicitly counters that by focusing on ingredients that have sustained global populations for thousands of years just because they're so cheap. Let's talk about the absolute powerhouse here.
Quinoa.
It's an amazing ingredient. The text features a Mediterranean quinoa bowl with chickpeas, cucumbers, tomatoes, parsley, and lemon dressing. And it claims that quinoa contains all 9 essential amino acids.
Yeah, it's a complete protein, which is pretty rare in the plant kingdom.
We hear amino acids constantly in fitness marketing, but let's break down the biology. Why does it matter that quinoa has all 9? What happens if I eat a plant that only has like 7?
Think of protein synthesis in your body like an automotive assembly line. To build a car, or in your body's case, muscle tissue or hormones, you need every single part. The steering wheel, the engine, the tires, the spark plugs. The 9 essential amino acids are the parts your body cannot make on its own. They have to be imported via food.
So if my assembly line has 1,000 engines and 0 spark plugs, the entire factory shuts down.
Yes, that's known as the limiting amino acid. If even one essential amino acid is missing, your body just halts the production of new proteins. Most plant foods are incomplete. They're missing 1 or 2 spark plugs.
Which is why people used to think vegetarians had to obsessively combine foods at every meal.
Exactly. But quinoa bypasses that entirely. It contains the complete blueprint, all the parts for the factory, built into a single grain.
That is incredible efficiency, and the text pairs that efficiency with the most budget-friendly anchors imaginable. Lentils and chickpeas?
Legumes are the ultimate crossover of complex carbs and dense protein. The text highlights a lentil vegetable soup with carrots, celery, and tomatoes, and a really simple roasted chickpea snack seasoned with olive oil and paprika.
They also use legumes for the ultimate comfort meal, the stuffed sweet potatoes. The recipe instructs you to bake a sweet potato, slice it open, and fill it with black beans, corn, avocado, and salsa. You're basically using the potato skin as an edible bowl.
And look at the biochemistry of that edible bowl. Sweet potatoes are rich in complex carbs, fiber, and beta-carotene, which your body converts to vitamin A. But a plain baked potato is still mostly sugar to your digestive system.
Right, so by stuffing it with black beans and avocado, we're doing the satiety engineering again.
You're throwing the brakes on the carbohydrate absorption. The beans bring protein, the avocado brings fat, and you're also practicing protein combination.
Oh, because the beans are incomplete on their own?
Yes, black beans are an incomplete protein, but when you pair legumes with a grain, like the corn and the salsa, the amino acid profiles complement each other. The beans provide the spark plugs the corn is missing, and the corn provides the steering wheels. Together, they form a complete protein right inside the digestive tract.
So the body runs the assembly line at full capacity, while the fiber physically expands to trigger those stretch receptors. That completely explains why a meal like that leaves you comfortably immobilized on the couch for the rest of the night.
It's deeply comforting, but underneath, it's a highly calculated formula to meet your caloric and nutritional needs without an insulin crash.
So we've mapped out the day. We have the mucilage matrix of the chia seeds in the morning, the mechanical breakdown of the massaged kale and avocado toast for lunch, and the complete protein factory of quinoa and sweet potatoes for dinner. The text concludes by zooming out to show how these meals form a lifestyle, giving a blueprint for building balanced plates.
And it's surprisingly simple. It relies on visual cues instead of calorie counting. It just demands a protein source, fiber-rich veggies, healthy fats, whole grains, and vivid colors.
And the ultimate representation of color is the final ingredient, turmeric. The text provides a recipe for golden turmeric rice, cooked with brown rice, mixed vegetables, and a very specific addition of black pepper.
Right, turmeric contains powerful antioxidants, specifically curcumin, which turns your plate bright yellow. Pigment is a direct visual indicator of phytochemical density, but the genius there is the pairing with black pepper.
Which brings us right back to the hook, the 2,000% absorption increase. Let's unpack the mechanics of this nutrient synergy. Because if I just eat a spoonful of plain turmeric, what does my body actually do with it?
Your body recognizes the curcumin as a foreign substance. Your liver goes to work immediately to metabolize and excrete it. It uses a process called glucuronidation to tag the curcumin molecules and flush them out. So while turmeric is anti-inflammatory in a petri dish in the human body, it has very low bioavailability. Your liver removes it before your tissues can even use it.
So you could be spending money on expensive turmeric supplements, and your liver is just tossing them straight into the garbage disposal.
Exactly, until you introduce piperine.
The black pepper.
Yes, piperine is the active alkaloid in black pepper. When you consume it alongside curcumin, it actively inhibits that glucuronidation process in the liver. It essentially distracts the liver's guards, allowing the curcumin to bypass filtration and enter the bloodstream.
It literally hacks the liver's defense mechanism.
By inhibiting that metabolic pathway, just a pinch of black pepper increases the bioavailability of turmeric by 2,000%. It changes the entire rules of engagement.
That is the ultimate example of the plate acting as an ecosystem. You can't just look at an ingredient in isolation. The olive oil unlocks the kale, the black pepper unlocks the turmeric.
It's a deeply interconnected system, which, can sound intimidating if you're just starting out.
But the text is remarkably forgiving. The final section offers advice that removes all the pressure. It suggests keeping frozen produce on hand, adding seeds to whatever you're already eating, and just starting with one plant-based meal a day. You don't have to overhaul your kitchen by midnight.
And that advice on frozen produce is vital. There's this bias that fresh is always superior, but the supply chain dictates otherwise.
Because the fresh spinach might have been sitting on a truck for a week,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. As soon as a vegetable is harvested, it begins to oxidize and degrade. Frozen fruits and vegetables are typically flash frozen within hours of being picked, right at their peak. The extreme cold halts the degradation. So a bag of frozen blueberries might actually have a higher antioxidant load than the fresh ones wilting in your fridge.
It's scientifically sound and removes the fiction of food waste.
Mm.
So, taking a step back, the narrative of this document is so clear. Eating plant-based, even just once a day, isn't about punishing yourself with bland flavors. It's about understanding your body's machinery.
Right.
It's using chia seeds to slow digestion, using your hands to break down cellulose, and combining fats and proteins to send powerful fullness signals to your brain.
It transforms eating from a passive experience into an active engagement with your biology. You're using thousands of years of botanical evolution to your advantage.
You are putting the absolute best fuel into the engine. But as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought regarding that black pepper and turmeric synergy. We mapped out how a single cheap spice can pause your liver's filtration to unlock a massive healing response. We understand piperine and curcumin now, but there are tens of thousands of edible plants on this planet, each with hundreds of unique chemical compounds.
It's staggering to think about.
Right. If a simple dash of pepper can unleash a 2,000% surge in effectiveness, what other hidden nutritional superpowers, what other profound biological hacks are quietly waiting to be discovered just by combining the right plants on your plate? Think about those uncharted ecosystems sitting in the produce aisle the next time you go shopping.